Hey guys, it's Ashton here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube, or whatever 3x3 you may have. Before I start teaching you how to solve it, I'm just going to tell you guys about a couple simple things that you should know about the cube first. So on a normal Rubik's Cube color scheme, you'll usually have blue opposite of green, white opposite of yellow, and red opposite of orange. If you're not playing with a regular 3x3, I don't know what you're doing. I just realized my other cubes have been in the frame this entire time. Now let's talk about something else. So the centers on the cube, there are one for each side, and they never move from the center. So they're always going to be in the center. As you can see, I turn that. They don't really move. And they're always opposite from the same center. So I can't have the yellow next to the white. There are 4 edge pieces on each side. Each edge piece has 2 colors on it. So this one has blue and yellow, blue and orange, or yeah, that's orange. The final thing to know is about the corners here. So the corners have 3, and there are 4 of them on each side. So as you can see, each corner has 3 colors. I just bumped the camera. Now we can get on solving it. So I guess I should just mix it up. Just how to solve the Rubik's Cube. You just get all the colors on each side. Simple. So now we get on with the actual solve. I just scrambled it up. Now let's start with what we have to do. So the first step of solving it, this is beginner's method. The first step of solving the Rubik's Cube is you want to get the white crust. So as you can see, we want to get all the white edge pieces where they need to be. And also lined up with their right center. So I just gotta find a white edge piece. So this one will do. And you see the white is up here. So for us, we're lucky, so we can just turn it like that, and then boom, you have all 3 edge pieces already there, and the last white edge piece is down here. So I'm going to turn it like this, this. I did that wrong. You get the point. It should be easy enough to get the white cross. It doesn't matter if there's other pieces on there, like corners. It should look like this when you're done with that. The next thing you want to do is make sure that your white edge pieces are lined up with the correct centers. So you see this one is lined up with the red. So that's what we want to do with all the other sides too. This one's lined up with the blue. This one is not lined up with it, because that's a green and an orange. This one's an orange and a green. So we want at least 2 of them lined up. These 2 will do. If they're not lined up, you could just turn it like that until you have 2 of them lined up. Hopefully you will have 2 of them. And since they're next to each other like this, we're going to do our first algorithm. I forgot to go over something else. Now let's go over algorithm code things. So, algorithm is just a set of moves in order to solve certain cases while solving a cube. So, let's just talk about the simple ones first. So, you're going to have to hold it in certain ways whenever you do one too. So, there's R, which is just like that. There's L, which is just like that. U is just turning up. D is turning down. Then, I forgot. F is front, and B is back. And then the final one is M, which is for middle. But that one, we don't have to do that yet. First algorithm you're going to want to do is pretty simple. So, you see we have our 2 corners lined up here. Or we have our 2 edges lined up here. What you're going to do is you're going to want to hold it like this with back and right. You're going to do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2 R prime. So that I did that wrong. I really shouldn't be doing tutorials. If you're wondering what that noise is, that's me trying to get back to the step I was at. The good thing is, I just got a case that I have to explain for you guys. So, the case that I have is they're not, like next to each other. I have the green one lined up, or the blue one lined up, and the green one lined up. So, you're going to do the algorithm, except you're going to have to do it twice. So you're going to go R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, R prime. Actually, I did that wrong. Again. So let's try that again. So I have green and red lined up. So hold it like this. Back and right. You go R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, R prime. Why isn't it working? I'm freaking done. Figured out what I was doing wrong. So let me just go back. Try that again. So I don't have any of them lined up, so I'm gonna turn this. Orange is lined up. Nothing else, so I'm gonna turn it again. Red is lined up and green is lined up. So we're going to try that algorithm again. So we hold it like this. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, R prime. See, I did it right this time. See, we still have the white cross. And that is why algorithms work. So now you see we have all of them lined up, and we can go on to our next step. So the next step of solving the cube is to get the white corners lined up with their centers. So first thing we want to do is we want to find a white corner. So I'm going to turn it. You see there's one right here. And you want to see what color's on it. So it has red and blue. So that means it needs to go right here. So there's really simple algorithm to solve this. It doesn't matter where the white corner is. You just want it to be, somewhere up here. If it's up here and it's not lined up, you could just do that to get it out. So what we're gonna do is R prime, D prime, R, D. Now, if it doesn't put it in right away, you could just do that algorithm multiple times, and you see we put that corner right there. So if I put this one, see it has orange and blue on it, so it needs to go somewhere over here. See, it goes right here. So R prime, D prime, R, D. R prime, D prime, R, D. R prime, D prime, R, D. R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. So put that corner there, and we have one final corner to put, and it's right here. So we're just gonna do that algorithm. It's the easiest algorithm ever, only 4 moves. There are a lot harder ones on this list. So you can see we've solved the white side, and all our little things around here. So now we can go on to the next step of solving the cube. The next step is called, oh my gosh, what's it called? It's called like 2 something, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna get this whole second layer filled up with those respective colors. So what we're gonna first want to do is find an edge piece. Any edge piece can be used, as long as it doesn't have yellow on it. So as you can see, this one right here doesn't have yellow on it and has blue, so it needs to go where the blue center is. So there's another algorithm. We need to find which way it needs to go. It has red on it, so it needs to go to the right. So we're going to do this algorithm. U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. So now that puts that piece, oh my gosh, I'm moving the camera. So I moved that blue piece over here, and it also had red on it, so that's cool. So now we have another piece right here without yellow on it. This one has orange and green. So if we turn this, see green's right here, and orange is right here, so it needs to go to the right again. But I'm going to show you what happens if it needs to go to the left. That needs to go to the left. There's nothing that doesn't need to go left. Okay, never mind. So this one needs to go to the right. So you just want to do U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. So as you can see, we got that piece in the right place. Now I really want to show you what happens if it needs to go to the left. Okay, right here. So you see there's green here. And it needs to go to the left because there's red there. So then what you're going to do is U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. So you see that is there. And we've got, it looks like one more piece to do. So we have to find the orange and blue piece. As you can see, that's right there. So this one needs to go to the left. So we're going to do U, L, prime, U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. And you see we have all of these lined up, and we can go to the next step. I also forgot to say that the last step was called F2L. So that's cool. The next step, I believe it is the fifth step in solving the cube. You need to get the yellow cross. So as you can see, there are 3 cases for this scenario. You can have either just a yellow dot, an L shape like I have, where it's like that, or you can have a line straight across, or you can already have the yellow cross, and if you already have it, then you just skip this step. So there is a pretty simple algorithm to solve this. As you can see, I have an L. Now, if you have the L case, you're only going to have to do the algorithm twice. With the dot case, you have to do it 3 times. And with the line case, you only have to do it once. And with each time you do that algorithm, it advances to the next thing. So if you have the dot, you do the algorithm once, it gives you the L. With the L, you do the algorithm once more, and it gives you the line. When you do it for the line, you get the yellow cross, and then you go on to the next step. Show you how to solve the L case, or just any case. So you hold it like this, where the L is in the top corner, like that, and you want to do this algorithm. F, U, U, R prime, U prime, F, U, and I did that wrong. Gosh dang it. What you're going to want to do is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and boom, then you get the line case. And once you get the line case, then you're going to want to do that algorithm again. So F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F, and you see we now have the yellow cross, so we can, that's not the yellow cross, dang it, didn't fit F2L. I do the algorithm that I told you, I did it wrong, but then you'll have the yellow cross, and then we can move on to the next step. The next step is to get all of the corners around the yellow cross lined up, so they don't have to be like the white where they're actually like next to the yellow edge pieces, but you're just gonna want to have them in the piece where they need to go. So there will be, it's a pretty complicated algorithm, especially for like starters. Or actually, this is the wrong step. I'm sorry. For this step, we want to get the yellow edge pieces lined up with the right centers. So you see, it's going to be like when we got the white lined up with, the white edge pieces lined up with its centers. So it'll be very similar using the same algorithm. So we want to get two of them lined up. We see we have blue right here, red right here. We'll hold it back and front. Then we go R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And then we turn this, and we have all those lined up. And now we go on to the almost final step. So the next step involves getting corners lined up, as I already said. And now what you're going to do first is you're going to look for a corner that's lined up. I gotta go pee. Okay, I'm back. Next, I already said this, but you get the corners lined up, and you want to look for one that's already lined up. See? But if you have none, then you're just gonna find one, hold it like this, any one, and you're gonna do U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. So what that does is it moves these corners around. As you can see, it got one of mine lined up. See, it's lined up perfectly, which you don't need, but it's good enough. But it's pretty good. So then you're gonna want to hold it to where it's right to the right like that, and you're gonna do the same algorithm. So U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. So as soon as all of them are lined up, we go on to the next step. As you can see, if we do it again, you're only going to have to do this algorithm a maximum of 3 times for this step. If you have to do it more than that, you've obviously done something wrong. And the reason you do it a maximum of 3 times is because if you don't have any lined up, that's once. And then you do it once, they could get all lined up, but maybe not. And then you do it again, and it is guaranteed to all be lined up. So I have to do it again, because mine was wrong. I don't know how to write words in videos, so just, like, if you're at home following along, just, like, I don't know, just watch every time you need to do the algorithm, just watch it over again. What I did when I first started cubing is I wrote them all down on a piece of paper. I wrote all the steps down on a piece of paper and the algorithms for them. That's a good way if you're a newcomer, and then you memorize all of them, and you're good to go, baby. So this is the third and final step. As you can see, I got these corners all lined up in their correct places. Oh, and I forgot to say, to get them lined up, they have to be, these colors are the same as these colors next to it. These colors are the same as these colors next to it. And you get the point. So you want the corners to be the same as the centers next to it. So the third and final step for solving the cube is to have the cube solved. So you're going to want to find a corner that is not, like, perfectly lined up like these two. So I have one right here, and you're going to do the algorithm from the beginning that you used to get the white corners in place. This is going to mess up the white side, but you'll see in a second. So R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. But instead of turning the entire cube just like that, you're just going to turn the layer on the top, and then you do that algorithm for this other one. And once you get that yellow piece in alignment, you'll always be at least a couple of turns on this top layer from solving the cube. As you can see, we have solved it.